The 2024 blowout is on now at the new Lloydminster Nissan. All remaining 2024 vehicles are priced at cost. Save thousands on a 2024 Nissan Armada, perfect for your family. Or check out the rugged 2024 Nissan Pathfinder and Nissan Frontier while they last. Plus, take advantage of half-price oil changes all month long and save 20% on brakes and rotors, including parts and labor, but only until April 30th. At the new Lloydminster Nissan, we won't sell you a car, we'll help you buy one.
Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster and area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
We welcome you inside the new Lloydminster Nissan, home of the half-price oil change this April. Call 780-875-3335 and book your oil change today. Plus, get 20% off on brakes. That includes parts and labor. Plus, the new Lloydminster Nissan is blowing out the remaining 2024 vehicles. They're all at cost right now, so stop in and check out a 2024 Pathfinder. We have 2 Armadas and a selection of Nissan Frontiers left as well, because you're going to get a real hot smoking deal on those vehicles. We are excited to have Don Bowey joining us today to get an update on the Cenovus Energy Hub and look ahead to tomorrow's Radiothon, which will be held on New Country 95.9. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water, and with over 22 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and their service is superior. For iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Superior Water a call at 780-875-6636, or you can stop in and see them at their 57th Avenue location. They're located right beside Sheepskin Loft, and stay hydrated with pure, clean water. I drink Superior Water because, after all, it is superior water. We want to say congratulations again to Marie Cube, who is a driver for Border City Connects, and not to mention spent 43 years at the Lloydminster Hospital, and still today works once in a while for Dr. Reddy. You just spend a few minutes with Marie, and it is clear that she cares for the people that she drives for Border City Connects in taking them to their appointments in larger centers. In fact, when we talked to her, she said the gentleman that she's driving now, it's been a consistent relationship that has developed because of all these trips that she's taken him to Edmonton for his treatments. So congratulations, Marie. You clearly deserve Cupcakes for Caregivers. Cupcakes for Caregivers is presented by Sobeys Lloydminster and the Lloydminster and District United Way. And if you know a deserving caregiver, you can nominate them by sending an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. We're excited to team up with Kenny Mack and KM Artesian Hot Sauce for our KM and KP Spring Sizzler contest. This is your chance to win a brand new Canadian-made barbecue and KM Artesian Hot Sauce for a year, which in true Kenny Mack style is 24 bottles plus some GSP spice and rub. Now, who goes through 24 bottles of hot sauce a year? Only Kenny. So this may be a little bit more than a year's supply worth of KM Artesian hot sauce. But he's got this new rub as well. So the ultimate brisket and beef rub seasoning. So you can, he's going to throw some of that in there as well. And we remind you that this contest is all about shopping local. You know, Kenny started his business here in Lloydminster. It's just a Lloydminster-based business, and when you buy a bottle of KM Artesian hot sauce, you're definitely supporting local. So we want to emphasize how important it is to shop local. That's something that we felt very passionately about on this program since day number 1, and we're excited to team up with Kenny Mack and KM Artesian hot sauce. You're a fan of the sauce.
Oh, big fan. I was going to say, and that rub is amazing. Amazing.
We tried the GSP on the weekend on some ribs. I had some ribs on the weekend, and it was really, really good. So all you got to do is check out Facebook. That's the best thing to do. Just check out the Live with Kurt Price Facebook page or the KM Artesian hot sauce page, and just follow the rules. One thing to emphasize is make sure you're following us. Make sure you're following both KM Artesian hot sauce and Live with Kurt Price. So your name comes out. We're going to check and make sure you're following both, and we support local. We hope you support us as well. Let's put it that way. The future of women's hockey is coming to Lloydminster for the 2025 SO Cup. From April 20th to 26th, watch the host Lloydminster Steelers face off against 5 regional champions from across Canada. Some of those champions have yet to be decided. Ontario will decide theirs this weekend. It all takes place at the Centennial Civic Centre. Full event ticket packages are on sale now, starting at $90. Visit hockeycanada.ca/SO Cup and get your tickets to be there when Canada's women's U18 club champions are crowned. The 19th annual Kids Gotti Dinner Theatre runs Friday through Sunday with evening performances on Friday and Saturday and an afternoon performance with plenty of tickets still available on Sunday. You can get your tickets for Pistols and Posies by calling Julie at 780-808-1217. And Rebecca King, who will act in and is directing this year, told us the Dinner Theatre has always been a well-attended event and is one of the only direct fundraisers the hall does each year.
Because the hall is under the Ag Society, we can offer our Ag Society member, groups, a more discounted rate when they go to rent the hall for their events, right? Like, this is a community hall, and it's just a fantastic fundraiser. And I do have to say, and I think I've maybe coined the phrase, and I really truly mean this, that if you support your community will support you, and it sure reigns true with Kids Gotti and what they've done.
The 13th annual Marwayne PBR is this Friday night. The Canadian Pro Tour returns to Marwayne with wild pony races at 6:30, the PBR at 7, and the dance immediately follows with music from the Prairie Dogs. Tickets are just $30 at the door, with 12 and under getting in for free. A reminder that if you haven't checked it out yet, Labus is holding their spring online auction on Facebook until April 14th at 1 p.m. When you bid on an item, you are helping the Lloydminster Area Brain Injury Society, who Verna Haight told us operates 3 days a week and offers up activities for their clients.
People with brain injury get to come in and they get to feel like they belong again. When you have a brain injury, you become secluded because people don't understand what's going on with you with a brain injury. So when they come in, they're able to just be themselves. Everybody understands that you may not act the same way you did before because we don't see you that way. We see you as you are right now. And they get to play games. They get to just be themselves and be normal again.
Umbrella Marketing and Design is proud to present Elevate 2025 on May 10th, a day designed for young women ages 12 to 18 and their moms and mother figures to develop life skills and keep them safe. Guest speakers include local individuals presenting empowerment sessions on everything from physical health to protecting yourself on the internet and social media. The keynote speaker is Jess Tatu, who will be sharing her inspiring story. She left home at just 15 and with hard work and determination built her empire around the Just For You day spas. For tickets, which includes lunch, you can go to umbrella-inc.ca. The Lloydminster Canettes are hosting their Easter egg extravaganza on Saturday morning at the Olive Tree from 9 to 11:30. Your family can enjoy free pancakes breakfast, take part in some creative Easter egg decorating, enjoy some treats, and get a picture with the Easter Bunny. They're committed, certified, reliable, and they will help you get your life back. BioClean Disaster Services at 1-833-246-8326. They emphasize taking care of you and your family, because taking care of your property and taking care of your belongings, yes, that's important, but what really matters to BioClean Disaster Services is you. And BioClean Disaster Services is not only the local restoration company, they're also Lloydminster's largest restoration company. 1-833-246-8326. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Cenovus Energy Hub. Don Bowey is here. There's a huge fundraiser happening tomorrow. We'll find out more about that and the progress that the hub is making.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal. And that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back. You help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
The brand new community of Wellings Lloydminster lives life to the fullest. At Wellings, their mission is to enable connection, build community, and enrich the lives of their 55-plus members. Discover a new way of living and retirement and experience more freedom with every choice you make. At Wellings of Lloydminster, independence speaks for itself, and the social opportunities outside your door are endless. Visit Wellings of Lloydminster, 3211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side, and discover more at wellingsoflloydminster.com. Well, welcome back to the new Lloydminster Nissan. We are pleased and excited to have Don Bowey here, making another appearance on our program. We really appreciate all the time you give us, Don.
Always glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So a huge fundraiser tomorrow. We'll get into that in a bit, but let's give us an update on what's happening at the Cenovus Energy Hub right now with construction.
Oh, things are very exciting at the hub. It's been hard because so much through the project you've been able to see from the road, the progress as it becomes, but now that the shell is largely complete, things have been just heating up on the inside. So both arena pads are done and cured and in place, which was a pretty big milestone to be able to really visually connect where the ice is going to go and how that relates to the stands. Right now, the drywalling is hopefully going to be completed around right before Easter, so that's going to be a pretty exciting milestone. The place is just hopping with electricians, plumbing, you name it, and in some of the user group dressing rooms, they're actually nearing completion to kind of test the finishes. So the showers in the future Bandits dressing room, the taps, the lights, you name it, everything's nearing completion. So it's pretty exciting.
So the lights come on in there?
Lights come on in there, yeah. Still, in
the dressing room. I
in
know
the
they
dressing
have lights
room.
and everything. But
yeah, the dressing room is kind of a test of the finishes, but it's really exciting to see the lights in there. They're just testing out the benches right now and putting that on there. So I was able to sit on the bench, as if I was using the dressing room, and that was a pretty exciting time. So,
how often do you go? Like, are you out there every day, Don? Or?
No, it varies. Usually, once every couple of weeks, depending on the schedule and what's going on. But we try to get on site every couple of weeks.
So let's go over some of the basics of the. So you mentioned both ice surfaces. What's the seating area for both ice surfaces?
So the event arena is going to be the big one for sure. It seats up to about 2,500 seats depending on the configuration. But what's really cool about it is the accessibility features. So we do have a couple of dedicated, wheelchair accessible spots, but the drink railing is actually telescoping, so you can, raise it or lower it. So theoretically, we'll be able to seat, anybody with accessibility needs on not 2/3 of the arena should they want to seat there. So
if you want to say your drink on the thing it'll come up and down?
It's a manual set, so you got to kind of predetermine what your needs are. So we'll probably have some that are kind of always in place for accessibility. But yeah, so it'll be at normal kind of standing height, but then we're able to lower it too. So
How much is that because of the Good Deeds Cup? Is that completely?
that's a huge part. Everything that the Good Deeds Cup did, and in such an amazing story, really helped drive accessibility in this building. So every washroom has an accessible toilet stall, accessible shower, and everything was really designed with accessibility in mind. And it really is just a huge influence right from that Chevy Good Deeds Cup and that amazing community story.
Awesome. Now, what's the ability to expand that arena for a concert and things like that?
So for a concert, we're definitely able to expand. We'll be investing in an ice cover system so that we don't have to take the ice out for events and things like that. And really, the design is to put a few different configurations of chairs on the actual floor. So we'll be able to fit, 1,000 plus on the floor to, get up to that, potential 4,000, 5,000, seating for events and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
To have that ability. Is the ice surface going to be like in 12 months a year?
It depends. So generally speaking, it'll probably be in quite a bit, but we will usually offset it with Service Sports Center just to be able to do necessary maintenance. With anything, the ice plants require a bit of TLC from time to time, so we'll likely keep it in for a couple of years and then alternate with service just so we can do that critical maintenance.
What's the anticipation of using the arena?
The anticipation is growing in a big way. I think it's our move-in year, and I think the excitement's becoming pretty tangible from all the user groups I'm talking to. I just can't wait for the day where we can open it up and people can come in and see the place for themselves. It's going to be a monumental day.
Who are some of these user groups? Like, we know the Bobcats, we know the
Yeah.
Bandits. Like, that's kind of like the obvious. Who
Yeah.
else will be using it?
Minor hockey, so right now the Lancers and the Steelers U18 teams will be moving over as well. At the skating club, actually, Lloydminster Skating Club is going to be another one who are really excited about the opportunity. Now, some will be focused on the event arena, some will be focused on the community arena, but the skating club are actually getting pretty excited. And it just offers new opportunities for dry floor usage as well. And Lakeland College, the wrestlers are going to be moving over, and proud to say they're based out of the community arena kind of on their own. So they're going to use that as their new home, and that's pretty darn exciting.
You mentioned the dressing rooms. How many dressing rooms?
So we have 5 private dressing rooms. That'll be for the main user groups, so like the Bandits, the Bobcats, the Steelers, Lancers, and Lakeland.
So they'll all keep their dressing rooms?
They'll all keep their dressing rooms. And then in addition to that, we will have 12 dressing rooms, 6 on the north side, 6 on the south side, that can be assigned for regular use. A big, kind of misconception about this facility is it's only going to be for the elite teams and for kind of that upper echelon, where it's very much going to be a community aspect. So we're going to be hosting, anything that happened at the Civic will be happening here as well.
Tell me about the outside. Like right now, if you go to the Civic Center, and believe me, I went to some playoff games at the Civic Center when it, had snowed and melted, and it's, it was like, oh, where am I going to park where I'm not going to get a bootload of mud on my shoes?
Yeah.
How big is that parking lot?
So it's going to be a large parking lot. We have around 700 stalls in, when you combine the accessible stalls, the bus drop-off zones, everything like that. So it's going to be a massive parking lot just to be able to accommodate the events we want to hold there. And as you said, the experience you get in the Civic mud pit at times, you're not going to have that here. So it will be a fully paved parking lot.
Fully paved.
Yeah.
I was out went to a hockey game in Owen Sound over Christmas, and one of the biggest complaints they have there, and they have a beautiful arena, the biggest complaint they have is they didn't put parking in.
Yeah.
So you're walking a long, long way to the arena. In fact, we talked to Heather's aunt and uncle, who are longtime season ticket holders for the TAC, and they parked further away than we did.
Wow.
And we got to the arena late. So, and they were like, well, we always park here because we know we're not going to be able to that's season ticket holders. So is there a priority for season ticket holders? Like if you are a season ticket holder of the Bobcats, will you be able to park a little closer?
To be honest, I can't really speak to that. A lot of the Bobcats program is run by the Bobcats, so I'm not 100% sure of the details of their planning.
okay,
But
okay.
I would assume that they would have something in place, is my assumption. But there's going to be room for everything. Yeah, there is so much space available. It's going to be nice.
So one of the biggest complaints about the Civic Center was the ceiling. Like the ceiling is too low. How high is our ceiling?
So the new ceiling in the new facility, from the ice surface to the rafters, will be about 35, 36 feet. So sight lines will never be an issue at the new facility.
Do you know what they are at the Civic Center? What the height is at the Civic Center?
Much smaller than that.
So we've talked about this before, but maybe people missed it. What's the score clock going to look like?
So we are going to have a central jumbotron in the new facility, but then a score clock on the east and west sides of the arena as well, just to make sure that everybody will have visibility. They will obviously be a little bit smaller than the central jumbotron, but we've had such amazing facility sponsors, so that the jumbotron will be provided to our naming sponsor, Cenovus Energy Hub, or Cenovus Energy, but it's going to be an amazing addition to our arena.
So like a four-sided?
Yeah, a four-sided, clock with, digital displays and, kind of an updated and modern experience for sure.
Able to see replays?
Absolutely.
Okay, the other thing that annoys me, because I'm such an audio guy, is when you go to the Civic Center, you hear, "Go, Corey, boy." What's the audio?
We are going to have updated facility audio in the place. So I'm still learning all the details of that. But, when you compared, it will be night and day to your experience at the Civic Center.
Okay, fantastic. Let's talk about the area around it. There is a push to expand, build a little, almost not like, I wouldn't say a community, but
Entertainment district is really, I think, what the design was for the place. So really, if you look at the larger plans, and there are different phases, of course, but it was identified to have 6 retail units, so that when you're out, you can go out for a nice dinner or anything like that. So those retail units are available, and I believe will be an amazing component to this entertainment district. In addition to that, there will be also a hotel that was going to be sold on site. So similar to Service Sports Center, probably not with the breezeway, but it's going to be right beside, so that traveling teams will have a place to stay, people enjoying a concert, but just really add to the whole district.
okay. And what about the infrastructure around it? How much is changing in that area? Like, we took a drive out the other day, and I'm not sure whether you're going to be using that entrance that's there right now. Like, is that entrance staying?
So that entrance will be updating. So the city's undertaking some engineering projects to bring in some roadways. So 36th Street, which kind of runs east-west right now by Jack Kemp,
Yep.
that will be extending, into, past 40th, onto the site. So right now you have to go through a little fence that's just a little north of where 36th Street is, but that will be continuing straight from 36th. And then a new street will be going inside, the entertainment district, 39th, and that will run basically from 36th directly behind the Gold Horse Casino.
Is there going to be an ability to, because it's an entertainment district, I would kind of include the casino in that.
Mm-hmm.
Will they kind of be connected? Will it be accessible?
We are definitely hoping to put in some walking paths, everything like that, as well as infrastructure like sidewalks, so that you can walk to the casino and hotels.
Okay, awesome. What about lights? Because traffic, if there's a huge event and everybody leaves at the same time, Bobcats win, let's go home.
It could be a bit of a jam. I believe there are lights going in. I don't know the details, as that's being handled by our entertainment department in the city, but I believe there are lights going in at 36th and the intersection right behind the Gold Horse.
So the new 39th Street kind of?
The new 39th Street, yeah,
That would be
but on 40th. So I believe south of the Co-op Gas Bar, just on that street, kind of at those 2 access points into
Right.
the entertainment district.
Do you know, this might not be, but was that all factored into the cost of the building too?
That was factored into the cost of the site. So the actual cost of the site I believe, and I'm not, the primary budgetary person, but I think it was 100 million, around those parts, with the building being about 88 million of that. So it was factored into the overall project.
Okay, what about bathrooms? This could be a huge issue. I've never been to an event where there was enough bathrooms.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think we've got enough bathrooms.
Okay.
There are basically banks of bathrooms on each side of the arena. So on the south side, kind of if you're in the event arena where the concession is, there's going to be bathrooms there. There's going to be large banks of bathrooms on the west side and giant banks on the north side. So we will have the ability to service a lot of people in those washrooms.
You mentioned the concession, one concession?
A central concession that opens to both arenas. So basically, it's designed such that if you have activities going on in the event arena, it can open to that. Or if you have events going on in the community arena, it can open to that, or serve both at the same time.
Okay.
So just, kind of tried to design it in such a fashion that it's some efficiencies in the design. So it's right in between the two arenas, nestled on the concourse.
How much of that work is done?
The drywalling should be complete by Easter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see the counter, everything is...
The millwork isn't in there yet, but you can see the counter windows, you can see the frameworks, you can see all the utilities going in. It's fast becoming it's amazing.
Just around the design of the building, is there anything that I haven't touched on that you're really proud of?
Well, I think, the design of the building is such that it'll be, a nice looking building in addition to the functionality. So the architectural feature, the kind of the snowbank wave is coming in right away here. The framework's all kind of put in for that. So it's going to be a pretty amazing build. And then part of what I'm excited for is the opportunities down the road. So in probably a different time frame, because, we'd like to develop ball diamonds and that, just to kind of, cement the ability to have outside and inside sports. But we will have an exterior arena that'll be kind of our first boarded exterior system, which we're really excited about.
Well, do you anticipate a grand opening? Do you anticipate like a big concert to kind of kick things off?
I anticipate, that building being quite busy in 26. The details I think are coming, but we want to definitely kick it off in a proper fashion.
Okay. So have you have you guys started to talk to hey, let's bring this artist in, let's bring that artist in,
I think there have been definitely conversations and everybody's wish list as we start to kind of explore that world, and just making sure that we do our best to draw in a big name to show everybody that, hey, this is where you're going to be coming for entertainment in Lloydminster. And quite frankly, one of the things I'm pretty excited about is the potential economic drive it's going to bring into the city. We anticipate it's going to bring about 170,000 people annually to the city of Lloyd, so that's going to be huge for our economy.
Wow, that's a lot of people. I want to talk about the fundraiser that you're doing tomorrow. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the radiothon that happens tomorrow, the Fill the Seats Radiothon, and we'll find out about that. Plus, there's an interesting thing happening at the Russ Robertson that we're going to talk about as well. Some construction going on there. So we'll talk about that with our guest, Don Bowey, when we come back in just a moment.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Welcome back to the new Lloydminster Nissan, where the new Lloydminster Nissan is blowing out the 2024 models. So if you're looking for an SUV, looking for a truck, get down to the new Lloydminster Nissan, because there are still some Frontiers, some Pathfinders, and two just gorgeous Armadas that are perfect for any family, and you're going to get a smoking hot deal on those. We are back at the new Lloydminster Nissan, and pleased to be joined by Don Bowey. Don, your role with Cenovus Energy Hub, I should have introduced you. You're the manager.
I am, yes. Yeah.
How excited are you to take on that role?
You know, in all honesty, I am over the moon. Opportunities like this don't come around very often. So every day I'm fortunate. I you know, when I'm talking to people, they say to me, you know, you have a very interesting job. And I'm just very grateful every day.
You've been out and fundraising for this. We have seen you at many events that we've been at. We've been at Farmers Market, at Aztec Safety, and it's not just people from the city that are there helping to spread the word. It's Don Bowey. You're there. Like, you're going to meet Don if you're going to some of these events. What are you hearing from people? What are they telling you?
So, you know, I'm hearing from a lot of people their excitement about the project. You also, you know, are talking about the concerns and some of the information, you know, because as a ratepayer myself, you know, everybody's focused on the economy and things of that nature. But I find when you explain things, you know, on a little bit more of a day-to-day level, or you're talking about, you know, some of the things that exist at the Civic that make it difficult to continue using, it really changes the perspective on those individual conversations I have.
So once you're able to talk to people face to face, they more understand what has happened with the Civic Center.
Absolutely.
And what is going on with the new Cenovus Energy Hub, and why it has two arenas. That's one of the questions I get asked all the time, why it has two arenas. And we've asked this question several times, but the biggest thing was to get a grant.
Yeah,
you pretty much had to.
Absolutely. Well, and we are getting to a portion where enough people have moved to our city, you know, outside of those kind of grant factors, that we do need the ice utilization. We are getting to a point where, and I'm sure everybody's listening to this has faced the same issues. You know, you want your children to be able to go and use the arena in a timely fashion, so they're not up too late. You know, if you're playing in a rec league, you don't want to be up till midnight. You know, so that ice utilization is a big factor as well.
You don't want to get up at 5 a.m. to go to practice.
5 a.m. is an early time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Fill the Seats fundraiser has been going on for some time.
Yeah.
There's a radiothon around the Fill the Seats fundraiser, but particularly you guys are trying to raise $8 million. Why? Why did this Fill the Seats fundraiser come about? What is so important about it? What's it done?
So this fundraiser initiated when council basically came to the project team and said that you folks need to, you know, work on fundraising a large part of this project, you know, being very cognizant of taxpayer dollars and grant funding and things of that nature. So we've taken that message wholeheartedly, and you can see that model in many different communities where there's such a big importance on community infrastructure. There kind of comes to a call where it's important to contribute on a personal level too. So that's why I'm really excited about the Radiothon, because we've had some amazing sponsors step up to support the project. And I know personally, I've decided I really want my name on the wall. So my personal contribution is I'm going to hit the $1,000 threshold. You know, I'm doing it monthly right now through Canada Helps, but then at the end of the project, I'll be able to have myself as a community champion on the board saying I helped fill the seats.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the community. The community helps.
So the Canada Helps is you know, an amazing way to make donations, and that'll be one of the primary ways when we run that Radiothon on Wednesday that people can contribute to the project. It's really nice in a lot of ways because it takes out a lot of the administrative, you know, issues. If you know, aren't wanting to go anywhere, you can just go on to the website, you can donate directly to the project, and you get an income tax receipt right then and there for your donation. It like emails instantly. I was pretty surprised.
So you put in what you can when you can?
You know, what you can when you can. If you want to do a monthly donation, you can. If you want
to have that come right out of your bank account?
You absolutely can, yeah. Or if you want to do a one-time only, you know, it's very accommodating however you want to support.
So for couples, say Heather and I wanted to do that, we want to put a donation because we want to see our name on the wall.
Yeah.
Do we each have to do $1,000? Can we do $1,000 together?
I would have to confirm that,
Okay.
but I would suspect it's more $1,000 individually.
Individually, okay.
But,
so can't say Kurt and Heather price.
but none of that's set in stone. I think, you know, it's right now, I don't know that I've considered that, even though part of the other fundraising committee may have. But we want it to try and be accessible to the public. You know, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a pretty cool experience to be able to go in and see your name on the facility. So
where does your name go? Like what? Like I haven't heard any of this yet.
So it'll be going in the lobby. A lot of why I didn't want to spill the beans too hard, but we'll be, you know, this is one of our upcoming initiatives where we'll kind of identify this. But right now there will be a donor recognition wall in the facility where our corporate sponsors and, you know, individual contributions will be recognized.
Okay, so the Fill the Seats fundraiser tomorrow, are you suggesting people call in to the radio station? How's it going to work?
So essentially, you're going to hear that day. We're so excited about our partnership with New Country 95.9. You're going to hear amazing stories that day. I know myself and a few other surprise guests are going to help kick off the day with some, you know, your regular programming won't be interrupted too much, but you're going to hear stories about the new facility. You're going to hear cool things going on, people excited, and all the different uses that are going to be happening there. But essentially, we are asking for that support in terms of individual donations, or, you know, if you are in a place where you can't do that, even just supporting the Radiothon and listening the day of, tuning into the live cast or to the radio day of would be a huge support. We would definitely appreciate that.
So is it more for individuals or more for business to make those donations?
I would say more of a community aspect. I know we've had some amazing businesses step up to sponsor the Radiothon, so that is very exciting. There's still potential for businesses to kind of, you know, get involved. We still have some kind of unsold assets for the facility as well that are kind of that larger scope sponsorship. But at the same time, if a business wanted to do a smaller donation to get involved, I would absolutely encourage them to do it through this means.
Like when you say that, what kind of things are still sponsorship available?
So some of the ideas, we have parking lot rows, like you've seen at Service Sports Center. So there's parking lot rows, there's dressing rooms, there's water stations, a lot of, you know, opportunity to be recognized in the facility. So the examples I would use, right now the co-op has sponsored the community arena, so that's definitely like a huge community sponsorship, and we're really grateful for our relationship with co-op. Cenovus Energy stood up to, you know, sponsor the facility for the naming rights. Synergy Credit Union is another major sponsors, sponsoring the elevators and the stairs. So just amazing, you know, sponsorship that we've had. So
What would the prices be? Like, what would your smallest sponsorship be up to your largest sponsorship available?
So I think there's options for everybody. I know that it's hard to kind of look at a tangible asset. I do have to apologize. I don't have the prices me, but if you were to reach out to myself or anyone on the team, we could absolutely get you that information.
Okay, and where are you at with fundraising? That $8 million mark. Where are you guys at?
So very excited to say we are just over $6 million. So we've it's been a long road. It's been a lot of amazing partnership from the community, and we're in that last push to reach that target for the fundraising portion.
That's pretty impressive, actually, to reach 6 million. I remember when that sign went up and there was zero.
It's a bit intimidating when you see it on the lower side, for sure, but we just have to say our community is amazing. We have such amazing support from the businesses that saw the value in the project and stood up day one, and everybody who's come on board, and we're hoping to kind of finish that push and get everybody into this facility and start seeing the value that it's going to bring to our community.
What's your goal for tomorrow?
My goal is to have a great day. I'm pretty fortunate. It'll be my first time on the radio, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, you definitely have a radio voice.
Well, thank you. But our goal is just to get people listening to the radio station and aware of the project, and to get some information out there and to really hear those accounts. That's what I'm excited. I've been able to hear some folks share their perspective on things. We talked a little bit about the Chevy Good Deeds Cup, and there's just some amazing stories that people have to share, and I'm really excited for people to hear those tomorrow.
So not a dollar figure?
Not a dollar figure per se. We definitely understand times are tough, but anything that people can give would be appreciated.
Okay. What's the best way to give?
So the best way to give is to, Canada Helps. We will also have folks at City Hall for those who don't want to have, don't feel comfortable in an online platform. We can arrange, you can go to City Hall and make a donation right there, and we will have people that can assist you with that. And then, if you are interested in kind of a larger scale donation, we can absolutely, same thing, go to City Hall, introduce yourself, and we can get the ball rolling on that side too.
And tax receipts you mentioned with Canada Helps. If I come down to the city and I make my donation, do I get a tax receipt right there?
I believe so. I think that they'd be able to accommodate that, but yes, yeah.
What time does it start? What time does it end?
So we're going to be running 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the 9th. So basically that 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. hour will be the last big push hour. And like I said, we're excited to get it kicked off in a high energy fashion. So
fantastic. Why should people donate? Like, why should I make a contribution, Don?
Well, let me sell you on this a little bit. This facility is going to be more than just a place you can come to watch hockey. This facility is going to be a place where you can see the future of all sports in Lloydminster, events, you name it. We want to be able to host things that haven't happened here. One example, you talked about a PBR in Marwayne. We haven't hosted an event like that in a long time because we don't really have the facility that we can support that. So that's an example of something we would love to showcase, in our new facility. Concerts, and just that high-end entertainment district is really, where we're thinking of to just give Lloydminster a little bit more nuance and something else to do. So we're pretty excited.
Well, the X does host a PBR.
They do, yes, absolutely. But I guess when I say that, it's more like the scale of operations and, hopefully, some great partners down the road that we can work with.
Maybe bring a rodeo to town.
Yeah, rodeo is definitely.
Maybe bring an actual, physical rodeo like we used to have.
That's where I was going.
Everybody remembers the old when the boys are back in town. They used to play on the radio, get everybody excited about the rodeo, and then that went to Saskatoon because we didn't have the facility.
Yeah, I think a rodeo would be a pretty phenomenal opportunity to have in town.
That kind of stuff. So individuals, that's who this is focused around. If you're a business, you basically want to, you can come down and start a conversation, but I don't think anybody's walking on the street with a hey, here's a $40,000
No,
donation, right?
no,
That's not
no.
what this is about.
No, absolutely. If somebody wants, to sponsor something, large scale, like one of the parking lot rows, or I feel the dressing rooms are going to be, one of our higher utilized areas, they can absolutely come down. They can contact myself. I work out of the Civic Center. We'd be happy to fill those up, and that's going to be amazing recognition for any business in town. So.
Okay, so just to go back to the facility, Don, when you walk in, are you walking in on the main level? Like, will you walk in and then you go up to your seats? Will you go down to your seats? Like, what's the...
So when you walk in, and the lobby is going to be an amazing place to be, you will go up the stairs to either the community arena or to the event arena, depending on
Both are upstairs.
Yeah. The community arena will have a warm viewing area in the lobby so that people will be able to watch, from the lobby space, but albeit a smaller
Bigger than the
space.
Civic Center?
Yes. Yeah, bigger than the Civic Center for sure, but still a limited seating. And then to go to the event arena, you'll have to go up the stairs or take the elevator up. So.
Oh, to the event arena.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there will be a suite level too, which is something new that we don't have really. We have a couple of suites at the Civic, but not a whole level, devoted to
How
that.
many of those are going in?
There's 10 suites of various sizes and a couple of public sitting areas outside the suites. So
So are you sponsoring those, or are those just, city used, like?
those will probably be for sponsorship. That
Okay.
hasn't come up yet, but that'll be coming up shortly.
Okay, so 5 on each side, all on one side?
Kind of a central hallway, 10 in a row, and then there will be a window on the suite level to view the community arena as well. So,
Oh, okay. And as far as media goes?
there will be a media room in there. So
Okay.
a media room with the majority of hookups necessary to do some amazing broadcasting, but also places within the facility where interviews can be conducted and still be connected to the media system.
So I remember when, that's a great point, because I remember when the Allen Cup came, you had the media all on the lower level. They all walked down the lower level at the Civic Center, and then, or took the elevator, and then they were all kind of just lined up there. And so you're looking at guys like Gene Principe, and he's just kind of standing there with a notepad, where normally he'd be sitting down ready to write, or maybe some reporters would more sense doing that. But I remember thinking Gene kind of looks at a place where he is at this moment, right?
Yeah.
And one of the best guys. So what else do you want people to know about this fundraiser tomorrow?
Again, just, we're so grateful for our sponsors. I know we've had Noblin Bros, Wired Mechanical, is it right for me to mention?
Yeah, for sure.
Wired Mechanical, SwiftNet, and the Gold Horse Casino, stand up to sponsor the Radiothon. So we're very excited for our amazing sponsors. I just want people to have an opportunity to listen and understand the project, keep an open mind, and if it's right for them to help support, just please support in any way, shape you can, whether it's making a donation, doing what I'm doing, get your name on the wall, or just listening day of. All support would be definitely appreciated.
So one of the things we hear a lot of is, we need a new hospital. Shouldn't be building a new arena. We should be building a new hospital. We should be building a new care facility for our seniors and things like that. So I just want to let everybody know that Thursday, Paul Richer is going to be joining us. And Paul is a volunteer with the Community Advisory Committee. And he's been looking into how we can better our health care in the community and who we need to talk to about doing that. So I advise you that if you're worried about our healthcare in the system, that you separate the two. That you separate the two, the arena from healthcare, and that you tune in on Thursday when Paul is here, because he's going to open some eyes, I think, as to and Paul doesn't hold anything back towards what he needs you to do to help out our healthcare system. I just want to get a separation of the two. They don't go hand in hand. If you are complaining that we need a new pool instead of an arena, that's a separate conversation altogether compared to healthcare and for the arena. So I'm really looking forward to that. The other thing that's happening in our community that people might not be aware of is they're ripping apart the Russ Robertson as well.
So the Russ Robertson, has been an active service for a long time. The arena pad there is 48 years old, turning 49 this year, and that is about the average lifespan of a cooled pad in the industry. So we have got approval from council to replace the pad, which is well due for an overhaul, and that went to a local contractor. So we're pretty darned excited about that. The work is going to be starting this summer, and the current pad and board system will be ripped out to be able to address some structural issues beneath the pad. We've had some pretty nasty freeze and thaw cycles that have made it quite difficult to make quality ice there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the only thing that's getting a remodel.
No, so we're moving things around just a little bit to make the Russ a little bit more usable in terms of when you're there. I know myself, being a bigger guy, it's quite hard getting around the south side if you're trying to sneak in between the boards and go down to the box there. So the actual rink will be moving just about a foot north to create a little bit more space because it's a tight infrastructure there. But what I'm really excited about is we're going to be moving some seats over from the Civic Center to kind of
Like the red seats.
the red seats, yeah, to reuse them and to kind of put them in a context and kind of do honor to save a little bit of money, move them over, kind of hit a couple birds with one stone, and a railing portion as well. So we'll be able to have some comfortable seats there, some standing rails, and a bit of a legacy from our Civic Center for sure.
I think people will be really excited about that. I mean, the Rustlers are moving over, but that frees up some room for, now you can be a little more comfortable when you go to the Rust to watch the kids play.
Absolutely.
And lacrosse is happens in there all the time too.
And ball hockey, yeah. It's pretty
ball
amazing.
hockey's in there. Ball hockey's growing as well. What are we forgetting? What are we forgetting, Don, that you want people to know about either the new arena or the Radiothon tomorrow?
So the Radiothon's definitely the big one. I know that we've got a few events coming down the pipe that we've done in the past. So we're going to have our Friends of Cenovus Energy Hub golf tournament during the summertime. Final days to be coming, and the Halloween event. We're going to be doing that again. So we're pretty darned excited about that. That was a lot of fun and
very popular too.
Yeah, one of my personal favorites.
Do you know how much you guys raised from that?
It was a phenomenal amount. I think it was close to about $20,000, which was way beyond expectations. We had 1,600 people come through Weaver Park, which you could never believe. But it was just something unique that we haven't really seen for a few years, and so much fun to do it too. So.
We'll talk more about that as we get closer. That's a long ways away yet.
It is.
Well, it isn't, but it is.
Yeah. It's down the road. But
I'll definitely have you in to talk about that because, that's a phenomenal amount of money. And got so many people talking in Lloyd about things that are different. And we I always hear people say, well, I want to be entertained. Well, that was entertaining. It was entertaining to watch the reaction. It was entertaining to talk to people afterwards and go, well, how scared were you? Some people, I wasn't. And then the other person beside was, well, you ran.
Yeah, ran. I heard a lot of screams that day. I'm just saying.
That's awesome. Well, and do we know the date yet for the opening of the Cenovus Energy Hub?
It's still fall. I think we still are erring on the side of caution, but hoping to get in sooner than later.
Even though things have gone very well.
Things have gone very well. Everything's on target, but with construction, I think it's better to play it safe than sorry, and I definitely know we will be in there in the fall. So.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Don.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Kurt.
So the Radiothon runs tomorrow, and it's hosted by my wife, Heather Klagas, on the radio. So you can tune in to New Country 95.9 tomorrow and get all the details and anything that we've forgotten, I'm sure you will address. If you do have questions about the new arena, who do you contact?
On the website, there's an inquiry line for any of that. Cenovus Energy Hub has basically an inquiry line for anybody who has questions about the project. I'm available, a little busy, but I always will make time to get back to people and talk about that. I'm in the communities. I'm always at the farmers markets or events, and I stick out like a sore thumb. So if you don't know me, don't hesitate to come in and introduce yourself and have a nice conversation. So
thanks again, Don. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We're back tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to talk to Rob Quist from Top Oil, and we're going to talk to Gary Becker from Longhorn Oil and Gas. The Patchwork comes your way tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. They'll be joined, of course, by my co-host, Tracy Kay. We're going to look at what is going on in the patch as it pertains to the 10% American tariffs that's coming your way tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, with three now, local producers in our community, because Tracy Kay has got into that as well. And they'll tell us like what we should be concerned of, or should we at all be concerned with. I think you're going to find the conversation very, very interesting. And we're going to ask, why don't we put tariffs on our oil? Like if they're hitting us, why aren't we hitting them? And I think you'll find the answer to be pretty interesting. That's tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, right here from the new Lloydminster Nissan.